Yo, what is up, y'all? It's Cone back here again today with another video. We don't have time for intros. Kevin Durant just requested a trade. Completely out of the blue. Free agency starts in about 3 hours as I'm recording this video. I was literally 5 seconds away from walking out the door to go hoop for a bit before free agency starts, and I start my live stream at 5:50 p.m. Eastern. Come check that out. But it was just kind of out of nowhere. I was just kind of hanging out, about to walk out the door. I checked my phone, came back here immediately to record this video. Kevin Durant has requested a trade out of Brooklyn, and this kind of seemed very possible about a week ago, and then all of a sudden it wasn't possible. Now it's happening, and now there's destinations coming out. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's go ahead and let's go back to about a week ago when the rumor was that Kyrie was going to leave Brooklyn. There was kind of an impasse in contract negotiations because of Kyrie's lack of availability and their hesitantness to really get him on a commitment to be with this team long term. They weren't sure if they were willing to throw him a max. He wasn't sure if they were going to give him the security that he wanted. There was a lot of issues, and so eventually it seemed like Kyrie was going to decline his player option and just leave the Brooklyn Nets either in a sign-in trade or just signing with the Lakers on a $6 million exception or something like that, something crazy. But then it came out that he was accepting his player option and he was going to stay, and it all of a sudden for about 3 days seemed like everything worked out for the Brooklyn Nets. They had Kyrie, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons. They had some possibilities of rumors that, maybe they could trade for DeAndre Ayton too and bring in another piece, or just add some of those more mid-level guys, rumors that maybe a PJ Tucker would be available for them in free agency. Some guys that could help them build around that big three. And then out of the blue completely, after Kyrie said, "Here, KD, I'm here to play with the Nets," he said, "I'm not sure that I am," and has now left. He wants to leave Brooklyn. It's insane, and it shows how quick the NBA offseason moves. Free agency is in 3 hours, and we have one of the biggest stars in the NBA, a top 5, top 3 player in the league, one of the a top 15 player of all time, requesting a trade out of the blue. He just signed a contract extension this past offseason. It seemed like he was the only one that was for sure going to be here long term, or at least that he would be the last one standing if Harden, Kyrie left. They eventually picked up Ben Simmons, so maybe Ben Simmons. But when him and Kyrie teamed up, it was always, Kyrie's kind of flaky. There's a chance he leaves. And then James Harden came in, and there are rumors that he was unhappy. He gets dealt at last year's deadline. It always seemed like KD would be the last one standing of that big three. And instead, KD is now trying to go somewhere else for what is probably going to be one of the biggest trade packages, probably the biggest trade package we have ever seen. And there's some crazy contenders for him out there. The rumor is that the top 2 teams on his list, or at least 2 of the top teams on his list, are Phoenix and Miami. If Phoenix gets him, they're going to win the title. If they have a trio of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant, they're going to win the title. I'm sure it would include DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. They have all their first-round picks. They could put together a pretty substantial package of young players and picks to send to the Nets for Kevin Durant that can help them kind of start working on a rebuild. Woj also said that apparently everyone is now available on Brooklyn's roster, so we could see Kyrie Irving getting traded sooner than later. Ben Simmons might be on his way out, although he is young, so I think there's a good chance they hold on to him, but he's another guy that could be on his way out. He may never have even played a game in Brooklyn before he gets dealt. It's kind of insane how quickly things flipped on its head. And now, like we talked about in the video last week, Brooklyn now went from trading all their picks to assemble a big three that didn't work out to trading all their picks to assemble a big three, albeit a way more talented one, probably the most talented big three we've ever seen, and they got a second round appearance and swept in the first round of this year's playoffs out of that big three. And they gave up a ludicrous number of picks. They have 7 years of picks in the future between just unprotected picks straight up and pick swaps that they owe to Houston. So it's not like they can just full throttle go into a rebuild. It's going to take a really long time because they have none of their own picks. If they make a trade with a team with a lot of picks, then sure, they're going to get some of those, but they're also going to be sending them Kevin Durant. So those picks aren't going to be super valuable off the bat unless they make a trade with an OKC, which there are a lot of Thunder fans that are now saying, what if we traded for Kevin Durant? And the Thunder gave in here's 12 of the 18 first round picks we have. Give us Kevin Durant to pair with Shea, Giddey, Dort, Chet. Some of those guys outside of Shea might be in that deal too. But there's some Thunder fans saying that maybe we can go out and get him. And your first thought might be, does KD want to go back to OKC? And sure, that's a valid concern, but apparently the Nets are mostly concerned with getting the best package possible. And I don't blame them. Sure, you want to send a star player to where he wants to go. It builds good reputation amongst the league, but you've been completely blindsided. You assembled the most talented big three of all time, one asked out. Kyrie played half a season last year and now has kind of been really hesitant. All of a sudden committed, and now a top 15 player of all time is requesting a trade. You have been through a lot. I don't blame you if you just go out there and try and get the best value available, even if it's not where the guy wants to go. He's on a 4-year contract. The team that picks him up is probably going to be able to convince him, hey, just play this out for a little bit. So we have no idea where he's going to go, because he's got his preferred destinations, but if they're just going to go get the best package possible, there are so many names you could throw out there. Miami is also interesting because they can't trade Bam Adebayo due to a contractual barrier between, like, you can't have a certain number of players on this designated rookie extension. They already have Ben Simmons on it, so they can't trade for Bam unless they trade Ben. So Miami's kind of that's kind of iffy over there. Like, you've got potential teams like the 76ers, like Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, young players, maybe Tyrese Maxey interest the Nets, and you throw in first-round picks and you pair Harden, KD, and Embiid over there. Or are the Nets more wanting to trade him back out west? What if the Warriors throw Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, James Wiseman, and picks together and end up getting Kevin Durant back? What if we see something like that? What if the Denver Nuggets throw in like Michael Porter Jr., a bunch of first-round picks, something like that, to put him next to Nikola Jokic? There are so many incredible possibilities for where he could go, and we have no idea what's going to happen. We can pretend like we do, but a week ago we thought Kyrie was going to leave and then Kevin Durant might follow, and now Kyrie's like, I'm going to stay, and KD is not about that. He's just trying to leave now. So it is all up in the air. It is ridiculous. I have no idea what's happening. The NBA is so much fun. I love the NBA offseason. It's one of my favorite times of the year, which is funny because I love basketball itself. But the best part about the NBA is that it never stops. It never sleeps. There's no offseason. The offseason is just as active as the season itself. We're about 3 hours from free agency. Kevin Durant has requested a trade. Let me know where you think KD's going to go. Let me know what you think the best trade package is. How blindsided are you by all of this? Because I am completely stunned. That was the last thing I expected to see. I thought it was kind of all wraps. I thought the Nets had figured things out. They were going to at least play out the first half of the season. Kyrie's on an expiring deal, so maybe you deal him at the deadline. But now it's just Kevin Durant's going to be gone. Like, Kyrie, what do you get for him? You have to do your best to recoup assets because you have none of your own first-round picks. So you've got to go out and get as many picks as possible, as many young players as you can. I'm super curious. Let me make sure on my phone real quick that we haven't gotten any more news. Let's see. Nope, nothing anymore. But obviously, like I do in this channel all the time, as soon as news comes out, I'll make sure to record a video about it. So make sure to subscribe. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Like I said, let me know where you think KD's going to go. I'm super curious as to what y'all have to say, because this is insane. It really is so shocking, because it really felt like he was going to be the guy that stayed, and now we're going to see probably one of the biggest trade packages of all time dealt for Kevin Durant. Can't wait to see what it is. Let me know where you think he goes. Kyrie, where's Ben Simmons going to go? Let me know what you think about all of this situation down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you all have to say. But for right now, I believe that's all I have to add. Check out the live stream later at 5:50 p.m. Eastern if you want to see my reaction to the first 30 minutes of the live stream or free agency. The live stream is the free agency. Doesn't matter. I appreciate y'all watching. I'll see y'all later. Real one, say it back.